This is the third of our recordings, and it's the first one that's really dealing with one of the tools that go with influencing and altering people's decisions. We're talking about, of course, priming, as it shows on the first slide here, and there are a couple of things to remember about it. Probably the most important thing is very simply that as the word itself says, it comes first. It doesn't take a long time to discuss. I do want to point out that there are some categories, some different types of priming, but understanding them in detail as types is not that critical. Priming is closely related to anchoring, which is also closely related to framing, and we're going to talk about those in much greater detail. However, the key element here is that priming is something that you do ahead of time, i.e. you're not trying to make the sale, you're not trying to close the deal. A good overview of the whole practice that might be related to priming is Robert Cialdini's book Persuasion. In Persuasion, he really talks about the idea that before you persuade someone, you need to set it up. Think of it in terms of perhaps at some point you ask your parents for permission to do something, but before you asked, you waited until, quote unquote, the right time. So priming is the introduction of one stimulus to influence the response to a subsequent stimulus, i.e. let's put you in the right mood so that then you're ready to respond to a sales pitch, in effect. You have positive and negative priming. You can cause people to not do something as much as you can cause them to do it. Semantic priming is using words. Associative could be words, it could be pictures, it could be other things. Repetition is clearly priming. When you see those commercials that are on television or even on YouTube that are constantly repeating the same message, so there are a variety of types of priming, and these pictures are just a couple of them to give you some idea. Concrete flooring leads consumers to perceive that prices are lower. So seeing the concrete floor in the big warehouse store is something that gives people the sense that this is going to be less expensive than somebody who has the right kind of carpet or tile. Another example of priming, and this is one that has a number of major effects: quality versus price. Simple priming can make a visitor care for either quality or price. Now, one odd thing is that priming people with the thought of money actually tends to make them more selfish. That may not come as a big surprise, but it does work that way. Oddly, in the minds of some people, a motherly figure has been known to activate achievement-oriented goals. So the idea with priming is you're setting someone up, and if you set them up properly, they're then ready to receive the message more thoroughly. So it's why there's a big difference between the flooring in an expensive department store and the flooring at Walmart, just as an example. So anyway, that is my story for this particular item, and I'm sticking to it. Y'all stay safe and well.